right? I was just live and Satan took me off the live, man. Right? The word was going out, right? Hey, Jake was getting edified, right? Hey, the sheep was supping, right? All hell just broke loose, man. Hey, but we back. Right, a man that's not, trying to be in this thing, not trying to teach, they'll be like, well, you know what? I don't know what happened. Technical difficult. No, we back, man. Right? If brothers got questions, comments, and concerns, we going live again, man. And then we gonna go live again. Then we gonna go live again. And then we gonna go live again, man. You understand? Right? And for all the men, the mighty men that are out there laboring, shalom. You understand? Out there 10 toes down for the Lord. Right, in the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars. You out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord, man. Another strong shalom to the brothers that are not out there laboring as of yet, but building themselves up, man. Reading, praying, fasting, doing everything they could do to make the calling of their election sure. Another strong shalom, you understand, to all of the women that are married, reverencing their husbands, right? Being teachers of good things to the children at home, right? Loving the Lord, being on fire. And to the women that are not out there, right? You know what I'm saying? Are married, right? Being shamefaced, steadfast, loving, doing everything they could do. And all praises to the Most High God, you understand? And this is going to be a live Q&A of breakdowns, parables, similitudes, riddles, right? If brothers got questions, Lord willing, I'll be able to answer, man. And literally, you got Esau trying to take away the word, man. Right? You kind of tapping in his mega bank, you pushing, right? You got the spiritual demon Satan at an uproar, at an all-time high, going to and fro, right? Knocking down lights, taking down internet access, right? Jumping into machinery, right? But we back through the spirit, man. And we going to keep going. We're going to keep going till the Lord close it up, man. Because everything is of the Lord. You understand? I could give up the ghost right now, right? You could give up the ghost. Whatever happens is everything's of the Lord. All we're going to do is we're going to keep magnifying his name until the Lord say so. You understand? So we back in this thing. It's another live Q&A right through the spirit. Right? If brothers or sisters got any comments, concerns, right, we going to bring it out through the spirit, man. Brothers got in-depth things they want to go to as far as breakdowns. We could jump into the breakdowns. Right? It could be an in-depth breakdown. Right? Brothers could list what they want to go into, and Lord willing, we can make in-depth breakdowns on those also. Right? We're going to go back into this thing, man. Right? Let's go to it. This is humble Brit Esau trying to take away the word of the Lord. You see that? Amaziah, Yahweh, Shalom, we back. Fronte had to say, get thus behind us. There you go. Rick James is gambling unlawful, right? Yes, you can't be out there gambling. If you gambling, then that's saying what I was saying. You putting your trust in something other than the Lord. You got an itch, you got a scratch, right? You putting all your money on red. You putting all your money on black. That could put a spirit on you, man. You tempting the Lord when you do that. You may have your little money, you put it on red. You tempting the Lord, man. Right? Let's go to it. Let's go to the book of let's go to Matthew 4 and 7. So no gambling. The saints can't gamble. Right? Let's go to it. It's Matthew chapter 4 and verse 7. Yahweh Shah said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. So you can tempt the Lord by gambling. You understand? You sitting there putting all your trust in it. You know what? I got to make this money back. You know what? It put a spirit on you, man. You tempting the Lord when you do those things. And you can't be out there gambling. Gambling is not of the Lord. Gambling is putting your trust right into the spiritual demon Satan, into the forces that be to manipulate your success and your gain. And that's not something that the Lord is putting forth for his saints, man. Right? So we can't be out there gambling. Money is the root of all evil, man. Let's get that in Timothy, man. 6 and 19. Right? So you got to beware in this thing, man. Because everything could sift you out and take you out of this truth. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, but they that be rich fall into temptation. So when you get money, what you do when you gambling? You want to put it right back on the line and get some more. But they that be rich fall into temptation, and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lust, and drowned endowed men in destruction and perdition, for the love of money is the root of all evil. So if you love money, it's going to be the root of all evil, man. It's going to destroy you. You love money too much, it's going to be your utter demise. Then if you love money, what else you going to love? Everything money can buy. And on a deeper level, money can buy everything. The scriptures say money is answer of all things. Money can buy women. Money can buy men. You understand? And even on a physical level, money bought slaves. You could buy silver, gold, yachts, plane, clothing, oil, wine. It could literally take everything. And then you'll be out this thing. You understand? So you don't want to let gambling take hold of you. King Corn, what toothpaste is clean? Right, you can use Tums and you can use Hello, right? I use Hello. There you go. All of that store-bought, main fold, other stuff, I don't use that. I'm not getting down with Esau's program. Right, I know that to be clean. Right, Amaziah Yahweh, can you do a short breakdown on Matthew 17, Lord willing? What part about 17? 17 is a whole chapter, right? If you want me to touch on something specific about 17, let's go to it. You know, just rephrase your question about something specific. Because we can't go through a whole chapter or a whole, breakdown. That would defeat the purpose of a rapid fire. So King, just bring it out, you know what I'm saying, through the spirit. That question was actually 5 and 7. Why he was confounded. 1 John 5 and 7. I just go to it. 1 John 5 and 7. First John chapter 5 and verse 7. For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these three are one. Now, what does that mean? People lose their mind when they read that. Christians, they lose their mind. It's a Trinity. It's three heads. It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and they all think, and they are just the same body. That's not what that's talking about. Now, on a deeper level, a man is what? He's the head of the house. But yet a man, whatever he does, is what his wife is going to do and what his children is going to do. Does that mean we're all the same body? My wife her head kind of stuck to mine? That's not what that's talking about, man. Right? Literally, if a man says, you know what? We're going to fast for 2 days straight, the whole house. What is now the wife going to say? Come. What is now the children going to say? Come. So Yahweh by Yahweh Shai, whatever the Most High going to say, Yahweh Shai is going to agree. And the Spirit, which is the Holy Ghost, is Yahweh Shai that rests on the saints. So that's literally saying these three are one, meaning everybody is subject and bows down to Yahweh. And whatever he says is going to be one with decision. The same way a righteous marriage and the decision of a man, whatever he says in the household, they're going to be one in it. Just like on a righteous man, whatever Yahweh Shai say, we're going to be one with it. You understand? It says, and there are three that bear witness in earth, the spirit, the water, and the blood, and these three are one. So on a deeper level, the Lord has three witnesses. He has two witnesses, Salakia. He has Yahweh Shai and he has the Holy Spirit. Just like the Lord said to have 2 or 3 witnesses on account of every matter. So Yahweh, he literally has Yahweh Shai and the Holy Spirit as witnesses on a deeper level. You understand? Not that he needs counsel with anybody, but on a deeper level. Read it on. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater. For this is the witness of Yahweh, right? Which he have testified of his son. Right? So we must believe everything that came out of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai's lips. Brittany Harris, Can women make breakdown videos on YouTube or IG? Women can assert authority over a man, right? And if a woman is making videos on IG or YouTube, I would prescribe them not to do that, because it could be a man of no understanding just coming into this truth, and he may watch the video, right? He got a damn notebook, a pen out. She kind of breaking down the precepts and put a spirit on him. Now this is his favorite teacher. You understand? Now the next thing you know, he's skipping school to watch the breakdowns. He in the shower and he turning it up real loud on his iPad, right? He's sitting down there. He don't want to damn join no camp. This woman is leading him, right? So I wouldn't prescribe a woman to be making breakdown videos on YouTube or IG. To uplift sisters, to give precepts is one thing, but breakdown videos is something totally different. The Lord literally put, right, the elect man in charge. Let's go to it. Man is the rule over the congregation. Let's go to the book of Numbers, 27 and 15. And it reads, I'm going to start at 16. Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. Right? So a man is over the congregation, not a woman. Right? So you can't have a woman of certain authority over a man. That would be off. And for you extra zealous women that want to teach, right? Hey man, so fast. Counsel. You understand? Be a mother to the motherless. It's a lot of things you can do to labor in this thing. You don't have to be this woman with a mic in her hand and give me the book of John chapter 3 and verse 5. Right? That's off, man. Right? You can serve, right? You be like Phoebe in the Gospels with Paul, man. Phoebe was called a disciple, right? You want to be called a disciple. And a disciple does what? They're a student under Yahweh Shai. So there's nothing wrong with women doing what the Lord had told them to do in righteousness. There's a lot of precepts women could go to, right? Isaiah, right? 32 and 9, right? You could read literally Ezekiel, the 16th chapter to get your spirit right, right? You could Sirach 25, 26, right? Proverbs chapter 31. It's a lot of precepts to build women up in the spirit. Judges chapter 4 and verse 4. Judges the 5th chapter, right? The book of Romans, the 16th chapter. Achilles and Priscillus, right? Aquilus and Priscillus. The book of Acts, the 18th chapter, chapter 24 on down. There's a lot of righteous women in this thing, man. Right? Dorcas, Tabitha, right? In the book of Acts, the 9th chapter. Right? Lois, Timothy's grandmother. Right? Martha, Mary. Right? It was a lot of women that was in this thing. Susanna in the Gospels. There's a lot of women that were pushing and doing the Gospels. Anna in the book of Luke, the 2nd chapter, verse 36. You understand? She was out there directing men to the temple of the Lord. So you can do the work on a deeper level, but out there teaching or making in-depth breakdowns, you got to hold fast. Uriah 14, the water rent my sword, worded, there were 5, was my kind hitting the thread. And there you go. Nah, what is the difference between affliction and chastisement, right? So affliction and chastisement, right? You get chastised through the Lord when you're going through, right? Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 19. It's the book of Job, chapter 19, and verse number 7. And it reads, behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. He hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths. So the Lord, he can kind of bind you up and set darkness all around you. That's going through hell. That's chastisement. You understand? Now, Job wasn't going off. Job didn't have a blunt in his mouth. That's just chastisement. You may lost your job. You don't know how you about to pay your rent. You broke as hell, right? Your damn mother, she scored you and she cussed you out. Your children, they ran away from home. You don't know what to do next. And this is chastisement. You understand? Man, you may have the same exact afflictions, but it be judgment. But you have to rightly divide, the truth, right? If you sitting there committing adultery all day, right, and then you come home and then you accidentally slip on a wall or you slip on the damn ground, it's grease on the ground and you twist your neck and you spring and you break your arm. But brother, that's judgment. But if you're losing your job, X, Y, and Z, that could be judgment also. You have to rightly divide the word of truth. And when you catch hell, if you're not glorifying the Lord in it, 9 times out of 10, right, hey brother, hey, you deserve that, man. When you break your arm, you like, damn. Then you kind of think about it, I was going off. Damn, this is judgment, man. Kind of, on a deeper level, you kind of think about it, like, damn. Like a kid, right? Not to say the kids don't go off, but a kid, if they ate up all the cookies and their mom say don't eat no more, they're gonna understand their beating. They're really not gonna do too much. But if a kid didn't eat no cookies and a mom kind of came and started whipping their ass, they're gonna be like, well, they're gonna kind of not buck up, but they're gonna kind of justify themselves, right? So you want to understand on a deeper level. Look, was I fasting? Was I praying? Was I being diligent? Do I deserve this? Damn. I wasn't doing those things. The Lord is setting me up, you understand, to afflict me on ways that's judgment, man. I deserve these things. But if you sitting there, you fasting, you praying, you just got damn beat up, you're like, damn, that's the Lord, man. Right? He trying to excel me and push me through the fire so that I can be made more stronger, you understand? Like you read about, right, in the book of Sirach, 2 and 4. Let's go to the next one. Right? Baking soda works too. There you go. So like I skipped some. Rick James, all right, I already stopped smoking weed and living the street life. I'm finna stop gambling now. Thanks, bro. There you go. That's the Lord. Call lawyer, how about Shem Yahushua? Right? Kaylin Johnson. I was asking, how could I go about having a second wife today? I'm trying to set it up with my potential second rib. Right? What do you mean, how do you go about having it? Do you mean, how do you get married? Are you saying, how do you set your two, women down? Right? You got to kind of get more in depth with your question. How do you go about having a second wife? Well, it's only one way to get a second wife, right? You lay down together in righteousness, right? With an understanding of following Yahweh while Yahweh shines to death, right? But how do you go about it? You set things up in order. You let your wife know, this is who I choose, and this is why I chose her. I've proved her, you understand? They should have a relationship. She shouldn't be strangers, right? And your first wife should know, plain upon tables, right, that this is set in stone. It's not something, it's not a gamble. It's not a second mind. I'm not kind of thinking about this. So it is what it is. It's a commandment at this point. You're either going to do it or you're going to transgress against the Lord. You understand? So you got to kind of get more in depth with your question. How do you go about it? Can you break down Deuteronomy 1 and 15? Let's go to it. Deuteronomy 1 and 15. So I took chief of your tribes, wise men, and known, and made them heads over you, captains over 1,000, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50, and captains over tens, and officers among your tribe. Right? So literally Moses set up the elders, the 70 elders, right? He set up the chief men that literally gave office so that he could get the word out to the rest of the children of Israel. Moses didn't have a big old bullhorn and he was kind of yelling, here, this is what the Lord said, and everybody was giving ear. What Moses would do is he would get the word to Aaron, as Exodus chapter 7 and verse 2, 7 and verse 1. Then Aaron would give it to the 70 elders, right? This Exodus 11. And then from the 70 elders, or the prince of the tribes. Now the tribes would be literally, the princes would literally be over the tribes. So you have 12 princes over the 12 tribes of Israel. Prince of Judah, Ephraim, right? You understand? Manasseh, all the way to the 12 tribes. And literally you would have the princes. Now the princes would give it to the captains and the elders. Now the captains would give it to the officers. The officers would give it to the soldiers. The soldiers would give it to normal men. Normal men would give it to the women. The women would give it to the children. So it would be like, this is what the Lord said. The Lord come before Moses. Moses get the understanding. Bring it before Aaron, which is a spokesman, which literally proclaimed it because he was eloquent in speech and Moses wasn't. Then the chief men, they will break it down in order to the rest of the nation. That's how the word got out. And the Lord set them up on many levels, you understand, to go to war and for it to be order and for the word of the Lord to go out amongst the nation. All right? Let's go to it. Let's go to the next question. Can you break down Deuteronomy 12 and 15? Let's go to it. And it reads, notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat all in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roll book and as of the heart. So this is a very confounding question. It's a beautiful question too, right? I love questions like that. You got to get into the law. Now, when it says, notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee, the unclean and the clean may eat thereof. Now, a lot of people may be like, damn, well, you can eat pork. You can eat shrimp. You can eat crab. You can eat lobster. You can eat whatever you want. The Lord just said so. That's not what that's talking about. When it says the unclean and the clean may eat thereof, that means everybody got to appear before the Lord, you understand, to proclaim and turn up for his name, you know what I'm saying, and worship before him as you read this chapter in the beginning of it. And the Lord said, look, if you're unclean or you're unclean, you still could appear before the Lord and eat. That means if I had a running issue, I still could go before the Lord and eat. If I literally had an issue go before me, you understand, and I would be considered unclean until the sun goes down, I could still eat. It's not talking about animals. That's talking about a man that's unclean or a woman that's unclean. Let's read that again. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, meaning the unclean man and the unclean woman, or the clean man or the clean woman, they may eat thereof, as of the roll book and as of the heart. Let's jump down to verse 22. Let's start at 21. If the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name there to be far from thee, then thou shalt kill of the herd of thy flock which the Lord hath given thee, and hath commanded thee, and thou shalt eat in thy gates whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, even as the roll book and the heart is eaten, so shalt thou eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life, which is the flesh. Thou shalt not eat it, thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water. Right? That's plain, right? So the Lord telling you, plain upon tables, look, the unclean and the clean, they can eat before it, man. Right? Because when you read verse 5, but unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of your tribes who put his name there, unto his habitation, shall ye seek, and hither thou shalt come. So the Lord said, look, it's no excuses. I'm calling you to come to me. I don't give a damn if you got a running issue, if you unclean, if you just had a child, you're on your period, you're on your flower. Hey, come before me, the unclean and the clean. That's what it's going into. right? Let's go to the next one. Right, these are beautiful questions from the saints. Right? Salakia, bear with me. Scrolling up. Amaziah Yahawada, Salakia, a breakdown on the transfiguration and the appearance of Moses and Elijah, Matthew 17 and 1. Let's go to it. It's Matthew 17 and 1. Try to make this fast. And after 6 days, Salakia. And after 6 days, Yahushua took Peter and James. He took Peter and James because Peter, James, John were one of his closest disciples. John and James were the Lord's best friends, man. He took them everywhere, right? Just like you may have 5, 12 friends, but you got your close ones in that. You understand? You got your closest of close. Females call it my best friend, right? And the Lord had his best friends when he walked the earth. It says, and John, his brother, and bringeth them into an high mountain apart. That physically happened. That's not a parable. He physically took these men upon a high mountain apart and was transfigured before them. That literally happened too. It's not talking about something that the Lord kind of just did something and it was that similitude. No, he literally transfigured into Moses and Elijah and himself. That literally happened. It says what? And his face did shine as the sun. His face shined as the sun because he had wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It was proclaimed on a high level upon that mountain. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. And his raiment was white as lightning. It was white as lightning, right? Like you read about in the book of Revelations 1, 14, 15, and 16, right? His appearance was the lightning, meaning he shined in all of his glory. That doesn't mean that the Lord was walking around like a candlestick, right? It says what? And behold, there appeared unto him Moses and Elijah talking with him. Why Moses? Because Moses represents the law, right? That's literally Malachi 4 and 4. Moses represents the law. And Elijah represents the prophets because it was no prophet that was greater than Elijah, which was John the Baptist. And him that is born of a woman was not greater than John the Baptist, as it is written. You understand? So the Lord chose Moses and Elijah because they represent the law and the prophets, meaning the Torah, right? Literally Tanakh and the Torah. You understand? Literally the prophets, meaning Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel, like all of the Habakkuk, Haggai. He represents all of the prophets because he was the greatest of the prophets. And Moses, he represents the law. It says what? While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud, meaning a chariot, overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Why does it say that? Because Yahushua is now over, which he was from old, the law and the prophets. So Moses said you could write a letter of divorcement in Deuteronomy 24, but Yahushua said in Matthew 19 and verse 9, you can't. So does that mean you kind of scratching your neck, you're looking around? Well, Moses said, but Yahushua said, but Moses said, but Yahushua. No, it ain't no Moses said, Yahushua said. This is what the chief priests, scribes, and Pharisees, they tripped up on. You understand? But Yahushua is above all things. Yahushua said you can't leave your wife unless she's a whore, unless she commits adultery. And therefore her judgment will be of the Lord. You understand? But if she doesn't do that and she just can't cook, she got bad feet, right? Her nails kind of growing all long. They growing and they curving into a circle, right? Hey, man, you can't leave her, man, right? So that's an example of how the law and the prophets, so like the law and Yahushua, how he would be above the law, right? So that's what that's talking about. Hear ye him, meaning hear Yahushua over anything. The law and the prophets, he exceeds them all. That's what that's talking about. Right? Can you break down Luke 21 through 23? Let's go to it. Salaki 16, 21 through 23. And it reads, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. So Lazarus represents Israel, right? That's literally the book of John, chapter 11, the whole chapter. You understand? Lazarus represents the man at an estate which he was once lost. He died. And what was Lazarus what? He was in the grave for 4 days. On a physical level, right, your body starts to decompose after the 3rd day. And we know that 3 is a number of completion. That's why Yahweh raised, Yahweh was raised from the dead right on the 3rd day. 1, because it's a number of completion. And 2, because your body on a physical level, you can look this up. Your body will start to decompose after 3 to 5 days. So the 4th day, Lazarus is supposed to have been decomposed. Meaning us as a people, we was lost as hell. We supposed to have been dead. We supposed to have been decomposed. We supposed to have been out of here. What the hell are we doing coming back to life? It was that much more of a miracle after the 4th day Lazarus came back. You understand? Because he was such in the grave. Right? And let's get John, right, chapter 11 real fast. In verse 17. Then when Yahweh came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days. Right? So he was in the grave for 4 days. On another fold, we was damn lost. We was destroyed. We was in slavery for 400 years. A day in the scriptures can mean years also. That's Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 6. You understand? On down. So we was lost. We was in a grave. We didn't know anything. We were dead for 400 years. Right? We represent Lazarus. Right? So when you go back to Luke 16 and 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. The rich man is Esau, and we desire to be fed with the crumbs. Meaning we just want a job. Damn it, we want a car. Can I get in a building? Damn it, can I get home? Right? Stop trailing me. Stop harassing me. I just want a crumb of this society. I'm not asking for a yacht. I'm not asking for a Fortune 500 company. I'm not asking to own my own business. Right, I have damn 1,300 workers under me. I just want a crumb. And the crumb is very small when this man is eating the world. He's eating all the businesses, the damn islands. He's sitting up there, eating up everything. We just want a crumb. Reading on. It says what? Salakia, 21. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover, that dogs came and licked his sores. Now the dogs are the nations. They came and they licked our sores. Meaning what? We were already beat and distressed and a beggar. And what did the dogs do? They further afflicted our pain by licking our sores. The dogs are the nations, right? That's all throughout the scriptures. Matthew, Salakia, Mark chapter 7 and verse 25, right? You got the book of Revelations, right? Chapter 22, Salakia, 21, Salakia, let me get that. I think it's 22 in verse 15. Let me check real fast. Yeah, 22 and 15, right? They would be the dogs. And they further afflicted our pain as we were begging. You understand? Read it on. And it reads, which was laid at his gate full of sores. And we were laid at his gate. Your gate is your leadership and your strength. We were laid at his gate full of sores. We're laid at the government housing. We're laid at all of these strength of the society, man. We're begging. We're on food stamps. We're on damn, what's it called, unemployment. We're just at his gates begging full of sores, right? The gates represent strength. That's Jeremiah chapter 17, so like 14 and verse 2, talking about the gates. That's Ruth chapter 4 and verse 1. Boaz, he sat in the gate. That's the book of Ruth chapter 4 and verse 4. That's the book of Proverbs, so like a Proverbs chapter 31. What is that, 24 or 26? Let me go to it real fast. Bear with me. Because the Proverbs 31 woman, her damn man sits in the gate. Does that mean he posted up like a nigga? He's sitting at the damn gate smoking weed? No, the gate are the elders and the strength of the nation. The gate, you understand? So we're laid at his gate, meaning his strength, right? Full of sores. We got our backs beat. Our damn chest caved in. We damn coughing. We damn holding on the gate. We trying to get some help, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. chapter 31. Slocky, bear with me. In verse 24. Her husband is known in the gate when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Even in Genesis 19 and verse 1, Lot sat in the gate. All of these men, Boaz, Lot, the chief elder, right? You understand? Hey, Job sat in the gate, right? So all these men, they sat in the gate in Job 29, right? And that's literally their strength. So we're sitting at his gate, reading on. This is the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 22. And it came to pass that the beggar died. The beggar is Lazarus, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. Abraham's bosom represents the kingdom of heaven, a safe place, right? Somewhere where you're protected. Like the apostle, like Peter laid in the bosom of Yahweh Shai. Now, do you think Peter thought that anything could happen to him? Hey, I would cry if I get the opportunity to lay in Yahweh Shai's bosom, man. Everybody on this live would, man. You understand? We literally crying if we got the opportunity to lay in Yahweh Shai's bosom. Peter did it, and he felt safe. He felt at home. He felt protected. He felt loved. And Lazarus represents Israel, and Abraham's bosom is our father. You understand? Abraham is our father. You understand? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Abraham represents literally our forefathers, and we're land in a safe place. Meaning we're going to the third heaven. Read it on. It says what? The rich man also died and was buried. So he don't go. I mean, everybody goes to the third heaven, but he doesn't go to a safe place. He doesn't go to Yahweh Shai's bosom. He doesn't go to Abraham's bosom. He just got buried in the dirt. And that dirt represents dust, because the Lord said, come and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So his lot is the dust. And the Lord said in the book of Job, the 17th chapter, the grave is thy home, paraphrasing, man. The worms, they waited for thee, right? Book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1, hey, come sit in the dust. You understand? So he was just buried. He was on a low estate. And what is buried? It's death. What is death? Death is hell. Death is the grave. So he went to hell as you keep reading. He just got buried. Literally, the grave, a Shiloh, which means grave, which means hell, right? In the Greek. Reading on. It says, verse 23, and in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Right? So a lot of men, they'll say that that this is a point where in the scriptures you can see an in-depth breakdown of hell existing. It's not talking about this man was in hell and he lifted up his eyes and he was in torment and he kind of saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his. That's not what it's talking about. Meaning Esau in the kingdom of heaven, he will see us afar off. And he will be in hell, meaning being in a state of affliction and torment while we're ruling, while we're sitting upon thrones, while we're high, while we have cattle, land, dominion, riches, honor, glory, while we have chains about our neck, while we have all rings on our hand, man. You understand? While we have our own chariot, while we taking orders from Yahweh by Yahweh Shai, man, and King David and the 12. You understand? And while we making moves on earth, he's going to lift up his hand, having a damn club to his back of his head, right? Tied up to a tree, and he's going to be in torment. That's what it's talking about. Because hell is a state of affliction. Right? That's all throughout the scriptures. Jonah, right? Chapter 2 and verse 2, right? You got the book of the Song of the Three Holy Children, verse 66, right? You got the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, right in verse 13 on down, right? You got many other precepts that's talking about hell, right? And even in Ezekiel, right? Countless precepts, right? And Gog and Magog, they're going to be in hell, right? When you read 38 and 39. Reading on. It says what? And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, meaning affliction and slavery, and see if Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. I mean, he's going to see us in righteousness, you understand, in the kingdom. That's what that's going into. Right? Let's go to the next one. And it reads, Net Scorcher 25, will we have to be regenerated in the kingdom after 1,000 year lifespan, or is 1,000 years a number of completion? 1,000 years of number of completion, right? We're not going to die, and we're not going to have to get regenerated. If we literally get beamed up and placed down in the kingdom, we will forever live. Let's go to Revelation 20:7, 20:6. Right? Revelation chapter 20, verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. Right? Meaning when you get beamed up, those souls that die in Jacob's trouble, they're going to have to, hey, they're coming back, man. Right? They're going to be in the third heaven. They're going to rest for a little season. Right? Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. They're going to come back down when Yahweh Shai and the angels come in the air. They're going to be the first ones putting their body in resurrection. Resurrected to life. That's the first resurrection. You understand? And it says what? On such the second death, meaning nuclear fire, because the first death was water, have no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years, meaning forever. Yahushua is not going to stop reigning for after 1,000 years. So that's talking about forever. David Watkins, can a Mason be a Israelite? Ask him because I have one in my family. Right, so Israelite were determined by your father's seed and the curses. Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. Right, the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 8. The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. The book of Psalms, chapter 77 and verse 5. Right, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, right, and verse number 7. Right? So, hey, man, you got to kind of get into this thing. Right? We back at it. What's the next question? Net score 25. Will we only be dwelling in the land of Israel during the reign of Yahushua, or will we still be able to live abroad? I ask because our number are going to be a huge in that day. All right, we're going to live wherever we want to live, right? The Lord said, ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thy inheritance in the uttermost parts of the earth. Let's go to the book, and that's Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Salaki. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 2 and verse 18. For thy help I will send my servant Essay, which is Isaiah, and Jeremy, which is Jeremiah, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits, and as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, whereupon thy growest roses and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy. Right, so Israel's known as a mountain, you understand? In the book of Isaiah, chapter 2 and verse 2, in the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 1. But the Lord said here, they're going to be 7 mountains. But we're going to have an infinite amount of space to be able to rule. We're going to have damn places nobody's ever seen. Esau says he's mapped out the whole world: Antarctica, Africa, New England, Arkansas, Dakota, America, North America, South America, Central America. Hey, well, Esau's a damn lie, man. The Lord said he got 7 mighty mountains. 7 is a number of completion, and a mountain represents a great structure and landmass. And it will be a lot to be inhabited in that day. Right? We're not going to all be jammed up in the kingdom of heaven and we all in Israel and somebody saying, excuse me. And then, no, man, the heathen got to fit there. We got to fit there. Got to keep the feast days there. That'll be too much confusion, right, for everybody to be jammed up in that land. Right? We're going to inherit the uttermost parts of the earth. And that's a whole breakdown in itself. Right? But Lord willing, I could do a whole breakdown on that. Where the hell is Behemoth at? Ask your professor, ask the so-called white, go on Google and type in where's Behemoth. He don't have the answers. But in that day, we're going to know what Behemoth is. You understand? Let's go to this thing, man. Right? Next question. Des Brown, can a man who had a vasectomy or a woman who had her tubes tied enter into the kingdom? right? Yes. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 12. It's the book of Matthew chapter 12, right? Shalak, is that what I want? Yeah, and 31. Wherefore I say unto you that all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven unto men. All right, so everything gonna be forgiven. If men used to damn rob, if they raped before, if they were scoffers, right? If they were thieves, whatever the case may be, the Lord will forgive you for that. If you tied your tubes, whatever the case may be, you did it out of ignorance, right? Tattoos, foolishness, you understand? Smoking weed. Hey, the Lord gonna wink at your folly, right? Through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shah. Right? We back at it. Right? All praise to the Most High. T Smart. Humble Brick, can you break down Joel 2:28? It is a prophecy about the kingdom or something else, right? That's twofold, right? That's talking about the kingdom and the last days proceeding up to the kingdom, and it's talking about now, right? Which is proceeding up to the kingdom. Because even Peter in the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 17, said that these men are drunken, as it is but the third hour of the day, man, right? But it is what the prophet Joel spoke of in the last days. The Lord shall pour out his spirit, and the young men shall see dreams, and the women shall see visions, paraphrasing, man. Right? So even in the time of the book of Acts, the second chapter, Peter was prophesying about what Joel spoke about. Meaning in the last days, men will see dreams, and women will see dreams and visions. So that's leading up, letting you know that it's the last days. Right? Not specifically going into when you're in the kingdom, but leading up to the kingdom. Right? Are anchovies unclean? I don't even know what an anchovy is, to be honest with you. Right? I would have to do research on what an anchovy is. Right? I don't know what an anchovy is. Right? If I'm pronouncing that right. Anchovy. Right? I'm not sure what that is. Right? Right? Lord willing, I could figure that out by next live, and we could jump into the damn anchovies, man. Right? We could figure this thing out. Right? Is it an animal? Right? Is it a fruit? Right? Is it a you gotta break this thing out, man. Right? Next one. Mary Israel, can you break down what a wife should do if her husband abandons her? Right? And that's a mean lot. Right? So what you can do, right, is you can pray to the Lord, right? That may be your lot. It may not be your lot. You understand? That's a mean lot to endure. You know, a lot of people, you know, they may have, situations to where their mother dies. That may be their stronghold, right? Sisters, they down, you know, they can't find a man. They by themselves, right? I don't know. I mean, everybody has a different lot. You understand? So that is a mean lot. Let's go to the book. What you could put in rotation, sister, is 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. That could be a blessing unaware, right? Not that your husband leaving you is a blessing, but everything is of the Lord, and you have to glory in infirmities and temptation, right? And being tried in the fire. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 25. Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of the Lord, yet I give my judgment. As one that have obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful, I suppose therefore that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. If thou art bound unto a wife, seek not to be loosed. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she is not sinned. Nevertheless, such saith have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, right? So if your husband leaves you, that could be more, not that that's a blessing or something you should glory in. It's sad, you understand, but like the Lord just said, in the last days, man, hey man, it's gonna be like you don't have a wife. It's gonna be like you don't have a husband. Because you're gonna be so on fire. Right? And that's a man of the Lord. Man of the Lord may be in England, maybe in Arkansas, Detroit, right? He may be doing breakdowns in the basement of the house. The wife, come up and eat. He said, Matthew 4:4. Job chapter 23 and verse 12. I don't eat, right? I had no leisure to eat. Give me the book of Matthew. Give me the book of Mark, right? Chapter 6, right? Verse 30 on down. And she's like, okay, man, you gotta eat. Over righteous. And she kind of go into the next room. He kind of in the base sweating, right? Hey, man, a man of the Lord in them days, man, it's gonna be like he don't even have a wife because he gonna be so on fire. So you could take this opportunity, and this is written in a masculine form to the men of the Lord, but you could take that and flip that. You understand? Him not being there, that's closer for you to be on fire. That's more for you to be, steadfast and doing everything you can. Let's go to the book of Judith chapter 8 and verse number 2. And Manasseh was her husband of tribe of kindred, who died in the barley of harvest. So her husband died. You understand? Now Judith, she didn't remarry again. So you can kind of, on a deeper level, look at it as, you know what? I'm going to be like my foremothers. She didn't have a husband, right? She did, but he died. Not that he physically died and that you can move on, but you got to look at it on a spiritual level. This is an opportunity for you to get more on fire. You understand? And she made her tent upon the top of her house and put sackcloth upon her loins and wear her widow's apparel. And she fasted all the days of her widowhood, saith the eves of the Sabbath, and the eves, the Sabbath, and the eves of the new moon, and the new moons, and she feasts solemn and solemn days in the house of Israel. Let's go to the book of Judith, chapter 16, verse 22. And many desired her. So it may be temptation when your husband leave you. And she didn't have a husband, right? You understand? But many desired her. Judith was beautiful. You can't look at Judith and say, pass me the macaroni and cheese. Right? No, man. You got men that kind of slobbing, kind of looking like this, they're breaking their neck, right? And many desired her, but none knew her all the days of her life after that Manasseh, her husband, was dead and was gathered to his people. Meaning she loved her husband so much, and more importantly, she loved the Lord so much, right? Right, that it didn't even matter that her husband died and that he wasn't there. That's the point. He wasn't there. But yet she continued to do the work of the Lord. And it didn't matter because she was so on fire. So if your husband left you, right, I would pray that the Lord puts it in the spirit not to neglect the marriage, right, and the union of man and woman. I would go on a fast. I would reach out in order. I would seek counsel from an elder, right, to get you and your husband together. I would do everything I can. But if that doesn't work, I would do what our foremothers did. Many desired her. Many may desire you. But at the end of the day, you understand, she was on fire. And she kept the Lord first. And that's what you got to do. You know? Can you explain Job 3 and 3? Let's go to it. Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which I said, there is a man child conceived. So that's twofold. It's saying Job is cursing his birthday, right? Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 14, right? And various other precepts. Right, Salakia, Jeremiah, is that 20 and 14, right? The book of Matthew, right? What is that? 14 and verse 6. Right, the book of Genesis chapter 40 and verse 20. Various other precepts, you understand? Going into your birthday. How we're not supposed to keep these heathenistic customs. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. But on another fold, on the main fold level, is going to curse the day he was born because of all the affliction that he caught by losing his children, his substance, his cattle, his housing, you understand, by the spiritual demon Satan. That's all that's talking about. Right? All right, so there you go. Right, and with that, I'm about to close up the Q&A for the night. Lord willing, it was edifying through the Spirit. You got your questions answered, your comments, your concerns. Lord willing, we're going to be able to go into more breakdowns, more allegories, more similitudes, more riddles for the men of the Lord that got questions on prophecy, for the men of the Lord that want to get their questions edified, for the women of the Lord that may want counsel, whatever the case may be. Lord willing, I'll be able to answer you, me or any other brother, right, that's a saint of the Lord. Right, so with that, continue to read, pray, fast, be diligent, do everything you can to magnify the name of the Lord. Right, be steadfast, be on fire, you understand? Don't let Satan take you out this thing, man. I won't give a damn about Satan, man. Right? The men, oh, Satan kind of bothering me. I won't give a damn about Satan, man. If this live wasn't on, right, I would kind of say some things, man, but we're going to keep it in the spirit. We don't give a damn about Satan. We don't care about his lies, his witchcraft, his idolatry, his wickedness, his turmoil. We don't give a damn about that, man. You know what we care about? The work of the Lord. Read it. Magnifying Yahweh by Yahweh Shai's name while we still have time, you understand? Fasting, praying, loving your brother. These are the things that's going to have you to excel when having faith to go over the finish line, man, to be justified in that day, you understand? Hey, man, tell Satan to shut the hell up the next time he's in your ear, right? Get thee behind thee. Call upon Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. You understand? Proclaim a fast. Hey, laugh at Satan, man. I be kind of laughing sometimes. Hey, Satan play with you. Hey, play with him, man. You ain't no damn scrub. You not a damn fool. You a servant of the Lord. You a princess. You a king, man. Ain't gonna let no damn spiritual demon Satan say a damn thing to a servant of the Lord, humbly speaking, man. I'm gonna put his ass in a captivity. You understand? Like Paul did. Paul was going through it, but what did he do? He put his body in subjection to serve the Lord. And that's what we got to do in these last days, man. No matter what's going on, who around, who watching, what time of the day it is, that's what we got to do. Why? Because the Lord said so, man. And with that, stay on fire, stay in the spirit, right? I'm going to give a call, hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashima Mashiach, Malak Yahweh Shai the righteous. Continue to pray fast and be diligent. Shalom.